Hey guys, me again with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a gun, but it's not going to be a complete gun. It's actually going to be an attachment for the gun. I didn't particularly make this attachment for any other good reason other than it looked really cool. And that attachment itself is, I'm actually going to show the attachment first because I don't think a lot of people are exposed to this, and I want people to see what I'm talking about so they don't think I'm crazy. That is this right back here. This is just a AR15, I would say standard, but it's clearly not. This is clearly heavily modified. And there's a stock out. This is clearly a thumbhole stock. It's called the Dex stock, DEX, and that's very close to a thing that I can't say on this channel because I don't want to end up getting demonetized and whatever. At this point, I could fucking care less because the FTC is a fucking... There's a clusterfuck going on with YouTube right now in 2019, and when this video will be out in 2020, we'll see how things go. If this video even gets released in 2020. That's all besides the point. But basically, this is a thumbhole stock, and it's very interesting because it's also an adjustable thumbhole stock, which is unique. And it had this weird piece on it that at the time of designing, I thought was a cheek rest until I watched the promotional video for this. Sorry for the sliding around. The laptop went to fall. So that's the actual like attachment in the gun that they were demonstrating on. I just wanted to show you guys that and get it out of the way. This is the rendered image that I have for it. This is the only rendered image that I have for it for my actual thumbnail. I'm actually going to change the rendered image because this is different render settings from what I usually use. This is with a transparent background, and I don't want the transparent background. I want all my backgrounds to be relatively the same grayish color, so we'll be changing that. For the actual AR15 receiver, this is just my standard AR15 receiver that I built after I made my real-life lower. So this is a 3-stud wide lower. This is the most accurate possible lower possible that is pinned here and pinned here. So this can technically field strip as it's supposed to. Upper receiver, I'm sorry, upper. And then my lower is from my Divinity Edition AR. So these two pieces right here make for the most realistic AR15 receiver that I have ever made myself. So this right here is what I wanted to base my build off of. So you can see I did make the Dex stock, and it is adjustable as it can be. You can see that it slides here and slides here. So this whole glow in the dark green white piece here does move back and forth, and then this blue piece stays stationary, which is really neat. This up here I did decide to include, though I didn't have to. If I didn't mention it when we were looking at the gun, this is actually the charging handle. This is another product. I don't think this is made by the people who make the Dex stock. It might be, but it might not be. But basically, it's a really big charging handle that you can grab with either hand and then rack it. So the idea behind it is that it's more like a pistol slide as opposed to a really small T charging handle. And the idea is that if you're trying to like fumble around in the dark or something, this right here, you're going to grab. You're not going to miss something this large. But if it was like just a T handle that was up here on the top of the receiver, you might not be able to grab it as tightly as you wanted to, or it might slip out of your hands. Whereas this is just, you can grab it with your full palm and just yank that sucker back as hard as you wanted to, no problems. It would fly back with you. Inside of LDD itself, this is what we have. Again, this is all real basic AR15 receivers stuff going on here. This is all stuff that you guys have seen it before. The only real new stuff is down here. And boy, howdy, was this an absolute mess of a thing to try to make. You can see that there is a crap ton of stuff going on. You can see that these pieces are sideways here, but then we flip upside down entirely to make use of these arch pieces, and then come up and make use of these arch pieces, these over here this time, except upside down, and then have all these 1x4 pieces upside down as well. And the problem with doing something like this is that inevitably a gap is going to happen. And as hard as I tried, I could not get that gap to close, unfortunately. This whole stock section back here is 3 studs wide. 1, 2, 3, as you can see. When you get here, where the stock actually starts to adjust, it turns into 2 studs wide. And the stock, the part that adjusts, is 4 studs wide, with plate built brackets and stuff over the side to give it like a smoother curve going on with it. And you can see that this just moves in and out. There's really no locking mechanism because I really don't understand how this stock works at all in terms of locking. But it is here that you can lock it in and out. The sling point is here. I don't know why they went with a sling point like this, but they did, so it's here. And then the really big, gigantic charging handle is also up here. This uses just real basic techniques, just brackets on the side and a couple bow slopes, and we called it a day. All real basic, nothing too major going on. It's just one of those things that I put a lot of time and effort into to get the shape completely accurate, and then I never used it for anything. The hard part is I really like the way that the stock looks. I really like how the charging handle looks. But it's super difficult to find a handguard that kind of fits this aesthetic, this theme that's going on with it. And that right there is honestly harder than anything to try to do with this. So I'm just kind of waiting for that perfect handguard to come along, and then I might actually turn this into a completed gun. Until then, though, it's just going to stay just like this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, comment, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. If you want to keep up with me and a whole bunch of other fantastic builders that are better than me, I highly recommend checking out my different usernames, Discord. Just go to any of his videos that are recent, and there should be a link in the description of the video to join. Thank you guys. See you later.